Welcome to the Illinois Association for College Admission Counseling Virtual College Fair. Thank you so much for joining us today. A few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You may use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions for our presenters at any time. Your camera and microphone are off, so panelists cannot see or hear you today. This is one of many different sessions happening. There are 2 more after this session, so please be sure to check those out and find if there are other programs of interest for you. And this presentation, along with all of the other presentations, are being recorded and will be available within about a week at strivescan.com/Illinois. Now, I'd like to turn it over to our presenters, and we're going to kick it off today with Verto Education, whenever you're ready.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm going to bring up my awesome screen here. So my name is Lainey. I am the Senior Associate Director of Admissions with Verto Education. So Virto is a little bit different than what students are traditionally looking at post-high school. So with Virto, what we offer is that freshman first semester or first full year of college, but you're traveling on a Virto semester and you're traveling around to other countries. So it's pretty exciting. We are putting study abroad front and center for our students. Virto is a fully accredited semester, so we really want to keep students on that 4-year timeline or 2-year timeline, really just depending on where you are. So our mission as an organization is to bring both higher education and international travel to all students, regardless of their background and regardless of what they're planning for their future. So that shakes down into 3 main pillars. The first is the best first year of college. The second is admissions to a great fit school, which is in regard to our partner universities. And the third is affordability, which is very important. So the best first year of college, this can really mean a lot of things for different students, but looking at our semesters specifically, you can choose between 6 different locations. So you can go to one of our on-campus semesters, which are in London, Milan, and Madrid, or you can go to one of our field semesters, which is in Latin America, Hawaii, and South Pacific. So all of our semester options are international, except for that one in Hawaii. That's the one domestic option that we have. So while you're with Virto, you are taking a college semester. So you're not just traveling around. It is very fun, but you're also taking college courses as well. You're going to be earning 16 credits. It's all going to be those freshman general education credits, and they're very interwoven with what you're doing outside of the classroom as well. So we really have a highlight on experiential learning, and that's going to look different on campus versus field as well. It's going to be small class sizes, so you're traveling with your Virto group, with your professors, Virto professors, and program leaders as well. We have support services, both on the ground with you as well as back here in the States. We also have affinity groups for our students, and we have a purpose finding workshop and a life skills course that we actually weave into our semesters, which is worth 1 credit. So our semesters abroad, this is the span of the traditional to least traditional options that students have. So it's a great way to kind of pick and choose depending on what you're looking for. The on-campus semesters are more traditional, like that, what you think when you hear study abroad. So you're in a big city, it's very vibrant, you're living in a student residence with a lot of other Virto students. You're commuting to class and you're getting those classes taught still by Virto professors, but you do have more independence, more free time to travel around the city on your own. So this is an example of our London semester. You're taking 4 of these classes, so you get to choose what you're taking. And of course, aside from academics, we do a lot of fun stuff as well. So you can see these are some of the excursions that we're doing. This is going to look very different just depending on where you're going. So field semesters are different in a couple of ways. The first being that they are on a block schedule. So we're taking 1 class each month instead of all at once. They are very much not traditional. So they're more kind of like that gap year feel. So you're actually traveling around and stay in local villages, smaller communities. And when you're taking a class, we're also partnering with organizations to actually get hands-on field work relating exactly to that class. So very, very hands-on. So great for those adventurous students. This is our South Pacific semester. We do a lot of fun stuff on that. It's very, very adventurous. We do have a full year option as well. It's our honors program. It's called Change the World. We are accepting applications for this as well. You either start in London or South Pacific, and then you end in Costa Rica. Pretty awesome. There's a lot of great stuff that accompanies with the Change the World program. This is way too long to read on a slideshow. I don't know why they did that. So the second pillar is admissions to a great fit school. So with Virto, we actually partner with 58 schools now across the states and a couple international. So what that means is when you apply to Virto, you can apply to up to 5 of our partner colleges. We have a whole college counseling team to help you out with that application. It's a free application to Virto and our partner schools. We have a 2.5 GPA minimum. We're test optional. Every part of Virto's application is free and non-binding. We have rolling admissions, so no hard deadlines. And yeah, we really just want to make that really easy for our students. So you can see here, there's a couple of our partner colleges. As I mentioned, we have 58. So this is only a small handful, but we've got big, small, public, private, all across the states. We also can guarantee admission to our students to 27 of our partner colleges if they meet certain requirements as stated by the schools. Last but not least, affordability. So we are as affordable, if not much more affordable than your traditional four-year university tuition. So you can see the costs here. This is also all up on our website as well, ranging from $15,000 to $25,000 per semester, including 3 meals a day, all the lodging, all the excursions, not including flights. But with that being said, you're not paying for a college semester while you're with us. You're only paying for your Virto tuition, which can save you some money. That being said, we do accept any federal financial aid that you receive, and we do have institutional aid as well, needs-based and merit-based. If you are interested, definitely check us out. You can scan this code. Check us out on Instagram. We have 4 of our 6 semesters that are currently running this spring. So you can really get a feel for what our students are doing in London or in Hawaii or South Pacific. It's very exciting and a great way to start college in a non-traditional way.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Verto Education. We are now going to hear from Brock University. Take it away when you're ready.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So hi, everyone, and thank you for watching. My name is Karen Dancy, and I'm an International Recruitment Officer with Brock University and your regional representative for Illinois. I'm also a proud 2-time alumna of Brock, so I am always happy to speak further about the student experience at Brock. My email is on the screen, and I'll also put it in the chat box should you want to follow up following the presentation tonight. So just a little bit about Brock. We're a public mid-sized Canadian university with just over 19,000 students and more than 100 different countries represented on campus. So 13% of our student body are students from outside of Canada, and we do offer over 100 different program options across 7 diverse faculties, including 40 co-op programs available. While Brock does have the resources and benefits of a larger school, we do still operate on the seminar system, which allows students to benefit from smaller class sizes in their tutorials, seminars, and labs. So here is a map of Canada. You can find Brock in Southern Ontario. So we are close to the New York border, about 30 minutes away from Buffalo, New York, and only about a 20-minute drive from the Niagara Falls. And then we're about 60 minutes away from Toronto. Brock's campus is located in St. Catharines, which has about 160,000 residents and is ranked one of the safest and warmest cities in all of Canada. So you'll be hearing more about the many benefits of studying abroad throughout the webinar, but I did want to point out a few things specifically about Canada. So all of our degrees are accepted worldwide, including back in the United States, should you want to return for work or graduate studies. We are also an affordable option for high quality education. So Brock's tuition is around $22,000 US per year, and we do accept your federal financial aid or FAFSA if you do qualify. You are also able to work as an international student on a study permit in Canada. So you can see a photo of our beautiful main campus. Located on top of the Niagara Escarpment, we are the only university in North America located on a UNESCO World Biosphere Reserve. The aerial photo does show our entire main campus, including our residence buildings. So all of our residences are right on campus, just a few steps away from the academic and athletic buildings. It does take about 10 to 15 minutes to walk from one side of campus to the other. And we are the site for the Canada Summer Games, which is very exciting, and we will be opening our brand new track and field sporting facility later this year. So we asked our international students why they chose Brock out of all the global post-secondary options in the world. And as you can see, the top 5 reasons are on the screen. So Brock does offer a safe and affordable option. So in comparison to Toronto, a one-bedroom apartment is approximately 67% less expensive. If you calculate that over the span of your degree, that's quite a lot of money that you'll be saving in your pocket. As I mentioned earlier, Brock is a larger university with the benefits of a smaller school. So we do offer personalized international student support. So you are able to take part in transitional and ongoing academic, language, and social programming. We have been ranked #1 in Canada for our mental health support services and #2 for overall student satisfaction. So Brock does put a lot of effort and resources into our student services to make sure that you are equipped to succeed. We also offer experiential education in 100% of our programs. So this can range from field courses to global internships to paid co-op work terms, and is one of the reasons why our Brock graduates do enjoy one of the highest postgraduate employment rates in Canada, with 96.5% finding work after graduating. We do also offer 2 Program Plus enhanced degree offerings for students that are interested in either pursuing a career in medicine or law. This is our Med Plus and our Law Plus programs. So as I said, we do have over 70 different undergraduate programs and 49 graduate programs. So this is in applied health sciences, business, education, humanities, fine and performing arts, math and science, and then lastly in social sciences. We do also offer 40 co-op programs. So co-op is the opportunity to get paid work experience during your studies. So over the span of your undergraduate degree, you would be able to accumulate at least 12 months of relevant paid work experience. So I do want to briefly speak about our admissions process, as it is a little bit different than what you might find in the US. So first off, we will never require the SAT or ACT. We also do not require references or personal essays for most undergraduate programs. These are typically only required if you decide to apply to select optional scholarships. Undergraduate admissions is primarily based on your academic average, and we do offer guaranteed entrance scholarships to students with the equivalent of an A- or higher admissions average coming from high school. So at Brock, we do offer rolling admissions and are currently accepting applications for September 2021 for most programs. So you can apply directly at brocku.ca, and the application process is done completely online. We do also offer start dates in January and May of each year as well. All program requirements are transparently listed on each program website, which can all be accessed at brocku.ca/programs. So all Brock students also have access to an academic advisor throughout their time at Brock. So advisors are able to help you determine your academic plan, and they can also help you with your, if you do decide to switch your major as well. So I do find that one of the best ways to get a sense of what a campus or a school community feels like is by checking out social media. So we do have 2 different social media pages. So we do have our international page, which is at BrockUINTL, and then we have our main university page, which is at Brock University. We are available on all social media channels, but I do definitely recommend checking out our Instagram. And then lastly, if you did have any follow-up questions, you want to get more information, you are able to book a one-on-one call with me by scanning the QR code that's available on the screen. Or if you prefer, you can also follow up with me via email. Once again, my name is Karen Dancy, and I'm the representative for Brock in the United States. And my email is kdancy@brocku.ca. Thank you so much.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Brock University. We are going to go now to McGill University. Take it away when you're ready.
Something froze there for a second. You should be seeing my screen now. Okay, perfect. All right, thank you. Thank you for joining us today. I am Nick McKenzie from McGill University. I'm a recruitment officer, and I'm here to talk about our school. And I will send my information in the chat once I am done. So of course, we really encourage students to think hard and to think where they want to see themselves throughout their undergraduate experience. At McGill, we have students, strong students from all around the world who come through our campus and build and develop the community that has been developed for over 200 years now. And we're excited for you to join our ranks. We obviously open up doors if students are encouraged to look back and travel back home after they graduate, or to take their McGill degree and go anywhere else around the world, as long as the opportunities are there. And of course, as was already mentioned, we do encourage international students to work in Montreal or work in Canada after graduating, and you can go through that legal process after graduating with a full undergraduate degree. At McGill, of course, located in Montreal, Quebec, that you saw on the map earlier from Brock, the best thing about it is being a student-oriented city. There are over 200,000 students that roam the streets of Montreal, whether it's summer, whether it's winter, no matter what season it is, students are exploring everywhere around them in the Montreal area, events. The city itself is just very much oriented to a young adult experience. And when I ask current students just their favorite thing about Montreal, it ranges from the music scene to art scenes to theater, the theater world that's around them, and just exploring that community and the fact that it's like two different cities as you explore the winter and the summer throughout Montreal. So I encourage you all to participate in the events that take place. Of course, we do have two campuses, and sometimes that is an unknown thing to our students who are considering McGill. The other campus is the Mcdonald Campus. It's about 45 minutes away by shuttle, which is free to all our students. And I will talk about the programs that are offered at each location. And a good thing about Montreal being a sort of a world city is that, whether you're traveling by plane, train, or car, it's pretty accessible from all different areas of the world, including the US. So you can definitely travel around without too many issues. As I mentioned about our two campuses, we have our downtown campus where most of our students will study. McGill is very much a research-oriented campus, a public one as well. And we really encourage undergraduate students to get that experience in the research and in internships throughout their time at McGill. It's right downtown, and I'll sort of show you here how the city has exploded and it has grown around the campus. Where we have the benefit is giving you sort of this green and safe space where you're free from cars, free from traffic, and you're really part of a McGill community that you can see around the red lines, whether that's the residences that are guaranteed for first-year students or the apartments that are really located all around this area that students will take up in their upper years throughout McGill in a quite affordable city if you're comparing it to other major cities in the world, especially in Canada. And so you can kind of see the safety of the McGill community as well as the mountain for a free hike if ever you're looking for exercise. The other campus is our Mcdonald campus. It's much smaller for about 2,000 students studying agricultural and environmental sciences. This really leads to directly those careers where you get a lot of hands-on experience and develop, again, it's a smaller one, but still very much a very close-knit community 45 minutes away. As mentioned, we have the two campuses with the faculties that are offered at each one. In the McGill application, you do need to specify the faculty that you would like to join. Sometimes it's more open-ended where you don't need to know your major right away. Sometimes you do. There are certain cases, but really you do belong to a faculty throughout the application. And depending on what you're studying, that's where you'll spend most of your time. There are residences located at both areas. We really offer you the chance to have a multidisciplinary or interdisciplinary degree at McGill, depending on your interests. One thing I like to highlight, because sometimes we're still learning what we really love and maybe we're not sure yet, but at McGill, because you are joining specific faculties, we have some programs that are offered in multiple faculties. So when you do your application and you have your two choices, you can actually have two opportunities at studying material that you really like. And these are just some of the programs that have that opportunity. And some of them are booming industries, if you're thinking computer science, for example, or the environment in any capacity, whether more science or theoretical. And so these are some industries that are open to all types of students, no matter what their high school background is. Just to give you some dates and things to consider, unfortunately for fall 2021, we are closed for applications, but for fall 2022 and beyond, we are excited to have you apply. January 15th is always the deadline for our international schools, so ignoring citizenship status there. We do offer scholarships and needs-based financial aid, of course, for all our international students, and we do recognize the international government funding that you get from the US as well. Like other Canadian institutions, our application process is quite simple in terms of what documents are needed, very few. There are a few exceptions, of course. And we are also test optional for fall 2022, and that information can be found online. So we are really focused on the grades of your high school career, and the application is done directly through mcgill.ca. So we're not on a common app. Finally, just to give you the chance to visualize yourself and to walk around our campus, albeit through the computer, we do have a virtual campus tour. So if you are interested in sort of seeing yourself and hearing the experience that is possible at McGill, I really do encourage you to take a look at that website to walk around, and as well as to join our Instagram page, which is one of the best ways to get information and to find out all the events that will take place for students like yourselves. So thank you very much.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, McGill University. I want to remind everyone that the Q&A is open and our presenters will do their best to get to all of your questions. You don't need to wait until a certain institution is presenting. Go ahead and submit those Q&As at any time. And now we're going to go to Bishop's University.
Thank you very much. So my name is Kelly. I'm from Bishop's University. I'm a recruitment officer now, but I actually just graduated this past June, so right at the end of the pandemic. So I do have a little bit of experience of what it's like being a student in these crazy times. So if you have any questions, definitely reach out to me. I will put my email in the chat afterwards. So a little bit about Bishop's. We're also in Quebec, but we're just about an hour and a half from Montreal, located in Sherbrooke, which is a large city, definitely by any means not as big as Montreal, but just under 200,000 in population. So we are a small undergraduate university, just about 3,000 students, a little bit less. And we have a great student to faculty ratio, which is 19:1. So actually all of our classes at Bishop's are taught by professors and not teaching assistants. So it's a great way to network and, I guess, make a personal relationship with your professor. Also, 97% of our students live within walking distance to campus. So it's a very residential campus, as you can see on the screen over here. It's a beautiful campus, maybe about 10-minute walk from one end to the other. And if you don't live on campus, chances are you're within a 2 to 10-minute walking. So no commute, no buses, no metros. And about 29% of our students are international, so representing about 30 states in the US and 80 countries from around the world. So a little bit more about where we're located. So you can see here on the map, Montreal, and we're just this little dot over here, right near the Vermont border. So we're actually about 40 minutes from Vermont. And what I love about Sherbrooke and Bishop's is that it's the perfect mix of an urban and rural setting. So we are an hour and a half from Montreal, which makes for a perfect weekend getaway. Sherbrooke does have large city amenities like movie theaters, malls, restaurants, and a bunch of other things, but we also have the rural aspects. We have biking and walking trails on campus leading around the area, as well as 8 different ski hills within a 40-minute drive. So if you love the outdoors and you love outdoor activities, Bishop's is a great place to do that as well. One number that I like to throw out in my presentations is our average class size. So being a small undergraduate university, you really have the opportunity to connect with other students and your professors. And our average class size is about 38. So again, it depends on the program you're in and the year that you're in, but I would say 38 is pretty average. I was a business student and some of our classes got to about 50 or 60. But again, you're not going to be in a large lecture hall with hundreds of other students. So it really allows you to develop personal relationships with people in your class. And I'll talk a little bit about our, I guess, the different programs right now that we have. So we are a liberal arts institution, meaning that you have the opportunity to tailor your degree to what you want. So you have the opportunity to mix and match different majors and minors from different faculties. So it's really up to you to explore what you want to do. So I like to give the example, if you want to go into psychology, but you have a passion for music, you don't have to give that up at Bishop's. You can really actually put them both together and study both either as a major and a minor or a double major. So the different faculties that we have is the School of Business with a bunch of different programs in there and a few new ones coming fall 2022. We have our School of Education. So I do want to say any degree you get at Bishop's and for any Canadian university for that matter is transferable to the US. Of course, if you're looking to become a teacher, you may have a placement test to take once you get back to the States. We also have a natural science and mathematics program, faculty that offers a bachelor's of science, humanities, and social science as well, where you can get a BA. So we have over 100 different programs with these 5 different faculties. And then I just want to talk a little bit about class. So usually at university, it's a lot of lectures, you're sitting there, it's a lot of theory. And of course there is that at Bishop's as well, but we like to bring in experiential learning where you get to experience what you learned. So as an example, being a business student, we of course had a lot of theory and marketing, but then what my professors did is they would bring in businesses from around Montreal, from around Quebec, and be able to really see how the theories you're learning in class are worked into the real world. And it's not just in business where this happens, it's all around our programs. So you're really experiencing what you learn. We also have a lot of research opportunities. So being primarily an undergraduate university, you don't have to wait till your third or fourth year to get into research projects with your professor or outside of the classroom. You get that from the first year, so you really get to experience it all. And we have a number of different opportunity funds for students. If there's something that you want to do that's not offered in a classroom setting, there's different funds you can apply to do, and Bishops will give you the money to explore that. I'll talk a little bit about the admission requirements for US students. I don't like to go too much in depth of this because we really do take it case by case. I know that the curriculum from high school to high school really varies. So on average, we look for about an 80% or 3.5 GPA on 4. And we also look for 5 senior grade 12 classes. So one of them being English. Again, it depends if you're going into a BBA or a bachelor's of science. There's definitely going to be a few more requirements for your math and science classes. But at minimum, we're looking for a completed high school diploma. Other than that, for different documents, we ask for your latest transcript. We are also test optional, so no need for any ACT or SAT scores. It's, of course, if you tested well and you want to include them, that can really help, but again, not optional. And I do also want to touch on the student visa. So while at Bishops with the student visa, you get to work part-time during the school year and also full-time during the summer. And then just to hit on the tuition, this is all in Canadian dollars. So take the exchange rate into account. But if you're going to stay on campus, you're looking around 37,000 Canadian, so around 30,000 US, sorry. And just to finish off quickly, I always like to end it. If you want to attend a big university, that's great. But if you're looking for a very unique and personalized experience, then pick Bishops. Thank you very much. And I will put my email and my information in the chat. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Bishops University. We're going to go now to listen to the University of Toronto. Take it away when you are ready.
Excellent. My screen should be shared now. We should be all good. All right, so my name is Emily and I'm part of the recruitment team at the University of Toronto. I'm also your rep for Illinois, and I have been doing lots of visits in your schools in person, and I'm now very pleased to be doing them virtually, although it is not the same, I will say. In our short time today, we are going to explore kind of 3 key points that I hope you'll remember from this session. The first is not only are we Canada's #1 university, we're a network of unique communities right at the heart of a dynamic, diverse, cosmopolitan region. There's really no better place to be. Best of all, U of T students can mix and match programs and their experiences to build that truly personalized degree. So let's dive in and get started. So the University of Toronto is Canada's flagship research university, and we have an incredible reputation for our academics, our faculty, and our research. We were originally founded in 1827, and our faculty, alumni, and students are leaders in discovery and innovation. In fact, more research-based startups have come out of U of T than any other university in North America, and we are second in the world for the volume of published research in the sciences specifically. A lot of people are familiar with the fact that insulin was first discovered at the University of Toronto, but I think far fewer people know that stem cell research also began here. In addition to all of that, we've also produced Oscar winners, Olympic champions, prime ministers, Nobel laureates, and best-selling authors like Margaret Atwood and Malcolm Gladwell. Our second point was that U of T is a network of unique communities in the heart of one of the most dynamic regions in the world. And when you live in Toronto, you live just steps from hundreds of vibrant communities and neighborhoods, each with its own distinct character and flavor. The BBC once ranked us the world's most diverse city, and while there are certainly lots of contenders, we are happy to be on that list. In fact, about half of Toronto's population was born outside of Canada and speaks languages other than English. I counted that too. I'm from Buffalo, New York originally. And the city itself is safe, clean, and has something really for everyone. I always add delicious to that list as there's so much incredible food here. While we are Canada's largest university, each student at U of T is also part of a smaller community where you can really feel at home. So there are many different layers of community that you'll find at U of T. That first layer is our campuses. All three of our campuses are located within about an hour of each other in downtown Toronto and across the Greater Toronto area. They all offer the same high quality of education, and each campus is self-contained, really offering everything our students need, from academic support to student life. And when you graduate, you earn that same U of T degree, regardless of which campus you choose to study at. They each offer different environments with unique features and are different sizes and have slightly different locations. So those are really going to be the biggest differences between the campuses. And it's really critical to us that every U of T student has not just a home base, but a team to support you and to cheer you on. We want you to be happy and have the tools that you need to reach your full potential. And that's why each of our campuses are also home to a wide range of student services, in addition to professor and TA office hours, so they can work with you one-on-one. Our students take full advantage of all of these services, so much so that 91% of our first year students successfully move into second year. Now, that third and final takeaway that I mentioned is the ability for U of T students to mix and match programs and experiences to really personalize that degree. With about 700 undergraduate programs, there is no shortage of opportunities. It's the best selection of programs that you'll find in the whole country. And at U of T, many programs are available on all three campuses, giving our students the option to choose which environment they want to study in. Some programs might be unique to a specific campus. So for example, the St. George campus offers over 50 different languages within the arts, 50 different languages within the arts. And forensic science is unique to University of Toronto, Mississauga, while journalism is only offered at University of Toronto, Scarborough. In addition to our art, science, and business programs, we also have the largest and highest ranked faculty of engineering in Canada, with 8 core programs that you can apply directly from high school. And these include electrical, civil, mechanical, and of course, 5 more. We also have an undecided first year called Track 1, where you can explore all 8 of those core programs and choose your preferred one at the end of first year. And lastly, we offer engineering science, which is an enriched program where students spend their first 2 years in high-level multidisciplinary engineering courses. We also have 3 smaller communities that are the smallest that we have at U of T and are unique to the St. George campus. Architectural and visual studies programs offer studio time, access to faculty, and a real foundation in design thinking. Kinesiology is the study of human movement, and this program has a lot of opportunities to apply what you're learning and get outside the classroom in sports practicums and community placements. And of course, there really is no better place to study music than in the heart of downtown Toronto. The Faculty of Music is the smallest faculty at U of T, and here we specialize in one-on-one instruction, as well as unique ensemble opportunities. And of course, all of that customization continues outside of the classroom as well. Students also have a co-curricular record, which is a great way to apply what they're learning in class to the real world. We offer paid work placement programs through our co-op and PEY co-op programs, as well as a research opportunity program. In addition, there are formal exchange programs and other exchange and summer abroad pathways. And of course, thousands of student clubs and our Varsity Blues sports teams. Now, we're going to skip very quickly, just so I can give you a brief highlight of what the application process should look like, and so you can visualize that process. We do recommend that students apply early. You'll see here we recommend early November, and that's because we have rounds of admissions beginning as early as December. So I will leave things there for us, and I will toss my information in the chat for you. So thank you all so very much for joining me. And again, my name is Emily.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, University of Toronto. We are now going to travel over to Australia and hear from Macquarie University, Sydney, whenever you're ready.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Hopefully I have this done properly. My name's Leanne and I am the North American advisor. I'm based in Los Angeles and help students from all over the US and Canada to study with us. So Macquarie is a big public school. We're located about 20 minutes from the downtown area of Sydney. Sydney is an incredible city, as you can see here, and you have the best of both worlds, the big cosmopolitan city experience with the awesome beaches. As you can see here, this is Bondi Beach, And then you can retreat back to campus, which is a stunning parklands university. We have about 40,000 students on campus, and of that, there are about 12,000 international students, so an incredibly diverse student population. You are actually able to fly direct from Chicago to Australia. It is a little bit of a long flight, but once you get to Australia, it will be well and truly worth it, and we will pick you up at the airport and take you back to your accommodation. And so you can start the adventure of a lifetime. A lot of students ask, what is it like to study in Australia? And I like to say Australian students want the same experience as a US student. So we have all the clubs and associations that you would expect from a US school. At Macquarie, we have about 130 different ones available. And I recommend joining as many as possible as in the first couple of weeks in Australia to really get a feel for it and find your community and take it from there. The first photo there is our Macquarie, our mascot, and he is in a Scottish quilt because Macquarie is named after the 5th Governor of New South Wales, Lachlan Macquarie, who was Scottish, hence why we have a Scottish quilt, a Scottish man as our mascot. We have a very impressive health and aquatic centre, and this is one of our 2 pools. And I like to say that we do have an outdoor pool because our weather allows it. If it's below 60 degrees in winter, we'll complain it's too cold. If it's above 90 degrees in summer, we'll complain it's too hot. So we do like a really mild temperate climate. But if you think you'll miss the snow, that's okay. You can certainly find it in Australia. About a 2.5 to 3 hour drive out of Sydney, you'll find our ski mountains. Might not be the same, but it's a fun experience all the same. So the biggest difference of studying in Australia compared to the US and Canada is that our degrees are actually 3 years in duration. We don't have general education requirements. So you go straight into your major, and it does mean you need to decide what you want to study prior to starting your application with us, as you're essentially assessed based on the class that you want to take as opposed to just entry into the university. So the requirements do change depending on what you want to study. Our most popular courses are accounting, international business and business administration, as well as our media and communications program. And up-and-coming cybersecurity, security studies, and counter-terrorism are also really popular classes. We specialize in software and telecommunications engineering. And fun fact for you, we actually invented Wi-Fi, so you're welcome. We also have a really impressive earth and environmental sciences classes that is very hands-on, and you're constantly out in the community, whether it's around Sydney, up in the Great Barrier Reef, or across the pond to New Zealand or Fiji. It's a really great program, especially for those thinking about climate science and sustainability. Australia is a phenomenal place to study that. Our flagship program is our Bachelor of Clinical Science and Doctor of Medicine degree, which is a 6-year program out of high school that allows you to become a doctor at the end of it, which is quite cool. As part of that program, you actually spend about 4 months of your 5th year at our partner hospital in India. And then in your final year, you're able to come back to the States and do clinical rotations at Washington, St. Louis or Dartmouth College, top 10 US medical schools. So an incredibly global medical program there for students. You're certainly able to do a double degree. If you're thinking about doing a business and a science, for example, that would take you 4 years to complete. And we do have majors and minors that you can choose. So really you design a program that's working for you and based on your career aspirations as well. So living on campus is definitely a possibility. It's not compulsory, it's not guaranteed, but as long as you apply early, you'll have no problem getting a place on campus. You will most likely have your own bedroom though, which is great. Australians do think it's funny that Americans share bedrooms in college. So that's a fun little experience you'll get to explore. You may have your own bathroom or you may share it depending on which option you choose. You can have meal plans at the university, but it is based on the accommodation. So if you're living off campus, for example, you won't be able to have a meal plan on campus. It's based on where you decide to live on campus. So keep that in mind. So how much does it all cost? Tuition is approximately $24,000. Cost of attendance, so your flights, accommodation, insurance, all that fun stuff equals about $15,000 US. So all in is approximately $40,000. Of course, it depends on the kind of lifestyle you want as to whether it'd be a bit more or a bit less, but that's the general figure that we promote to students. Do keep in mind that you can use US financial aid to study with us. There's about 200 schools outside of the US where you can use that. We do have merit-based scholarships, and you can work when studying. A minimum wage is about $20 an hour. So how to apply? It is free to apply to the university. You do that online direct through our website. It takes you about 10-15 minutes to complete the application. We don't require essays or recommendation letters either. It is very much a academic based process. So we're just looking at your GPA, and in normal times we would require your SAT or ACT scores, but we have gone test optional due to COVID-19. So once you have your place in the program, you are able to accept, get your financial aid, get your visa, and come to Australia. And this is my details. I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you have. Thanks for joining us.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Macquarie University. And thank you to all of our presenters today for this wonderful opportunity to learn more about each of your campuses. I'm going to ask all of our presenters to now join me on video, and we're going to move on to a brief Q&A portion for today's event. So let me share my screen here. The first question that we're going to start off with is, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process? We're going to go in the same order, so I'm going to give this question first to Verto Education.
Awesome. Yeah, I think it's pretty important to not get super stressed out. I think there are a lot of pressures that are coming from family or teachers or counselors. Try to keep that outside of your own personal bubble and work on it yourself. It's important to have those people care, but shouldn't be a huge point of anxiety for their outside stressors to be coming into your bubble.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Brock University, what advice do you have?
I think for me, just to kind of look outside the box. Your best fit might not be the best fit of your best friend in high school or your friend group. And I think even just attending this seminar is a great start. There's tons of wonderful opportunities all around the world. And I think this is a great example of some of the opportunities available outside of the United States. So don't be afraid to study abroad, because there's a lot of great opportunities out there for you.
Absolutely. Great advice. McGill University, what is your tip?
This will just sound maybe crazy, but I did this for a city and it allowed me to feel more comfortable when I eventually went there. Use Google Maps. You go Google Street View, explore campuses, think of the residences that each school has, visualize yourself living there, and just stroll the streets. It might just make something, because we can't get there physically right now in a lot of cases, this might be the next best thing.
Great. Well, thank you for that. Bishop's University, what is your advice?
Take your time. Like, choosing a university is a really big process. And like Karen said, you want to find the right fit for you. So take your time, make a list of what you want out of a university and try to find one that checks as many boxes as possible.
Great. Absolutely. University of Toronto?
Sure. Normally, I would say visit campuses that you're thinking about. That's really not going to help you right now, maybe by fall or next winter. But I think instead, take advantage of virtual tour opportunities, sessions like this, and then trust your advisors. Use your counselors that you have available to you. They are super knowledgeable. Take advantage of that because they're there to help you.
Wonderful. Thank you. And then Macquarie University, we'll have you close this question out for us.
I would say look far and wide across the world, because there's so many incredible opportunities and you'll never have a time in your life again where you can literally go anywhere. I've personally studied in 5 countries and I tell students to beat me and make it 6 or 7 because there's so many amazing opportunities available for you.
That's great advice, especially for this panel here. All right, our next question is, what is your favorite event or tradition on your campus? We'll start at the top again with Verto Education.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You've probably heard this like 1,000 times. But yeah, with Virto, we are pretty new to the college scene. And so we don't have a lot of long-standing like campus traditions, also because we have 6 different campuses of sorts. So it's a cool opportunity for our students, I think, to just make their own traditions in those locations. One that we do have in our South Pacific semester that I think is really awesome is when our students do arrive, they sit down with the local community members, and the community members in Fiji have a kava drinking ceremony, which is like this traditional ceremony to welcome guests. And kava is this root, and it tastes like dirt, but it's a really cool experience, I think, for the students, and it makes them feel like part of that community.
Wonderful. Thank you. Brock University?
For me, I'd have to say it's probably the Steel Blade Classic. That happens in the month of September. It's our big home opening ice hockey game where we basically get the entire community, including alumni, to attend our home opener men's and women's ice hockey games that we normally play against one of our Ontario rival schools.
Sounds great. Thank you. McGill University.
Yeah, an event that students really seem to enjoy is our OAP, an open air pub that happens twice a year, that all students get together on our big field and just enjoy the experience of being a McGill student.
I love it. Thank you. Bishop's University.
So I'll try to be quick. Our principal actually lives on campus. So during our orientation week, during one of the last days, everybody who signed up comes to the principal's front yard, and he comes out in his old traditional nightgown, and we all sing the school song together. And it's just a really great tradition that we have going almost 183 years strong.
Very unique indeed. Thank you. University of Toronto.
Sure. I think that being a large university with 3 campuses, there are so many smaller communities and each have their own individual traditions. But the one thing that is common that every single U of T student does is graduate in our convocation hall. Not all at the same time, obviously that would not fit, but we have ceremonies that run for 3 weeks, usually in June. And you walk across the lawn in front of convocation hall, and it's a really lovely tradition. And sometimes there's bagpipes. It's very fun.
Sounds like it. Thank you. And then Macquarie University, what's your favorite tradition?
We celebrate Conception Day on campus, which is we're celebrating the university being signed into being, and it's a 3-day music and arts festival in the center of campus, which is a lot of fun for everybody.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank you all so much for giving us all of this important and great information about each of your programs and campuses. And I also want to thank everyone who has joined us here today, whether you're here live or catching the replay. We're really grateful that you were able to join us. Just a few notes before we wrap up here. Please do keep in mind that there are 2 more sessions happening after this. So if you are catching this live, you can go check out what other institutions are presenting right after this and jump into one of those sessions. But all of the sessions, including this one, are being recorded, and you can find those recordings at strivescan.com/Illinois. And lastly, when you close out this event today, you're going to get a very short 4-question survey. We would really appreciate all of the feedback that you can provide us about today's events. Once again, thank you so much to our presenters as well as to everyone who's here today. Bye-bye, everyone.